Opportunity won't wait. Don't miss your chance to own the metal powering the tech revolution. Silver isn't just shiny, it's indispensable. It fuels clean energy, drives electric vehicles, and powers cutting-edge tech innovation. Here's the catch. Global demand is skyrocketing, but supplies are dwindling. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com to invest in the metal that's shaping tomorrow's breakthroughs. As a bonus, open a qualified account and receive 2 5-ounce Silver America the Beautiful coins absolutely free. Silver powers progress, and progress powers your profit. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Charlie Kirk Show. Andrew Colvett in for the one and only Charlie Kirk, who's on assignment today. We'll leave it at that for the time being. Nevertheless, lots going on. Always very, very much a privilege for me to be with all of you because there is so much breaking news. In the era of Trump, we are now on Trump time. Everything is coming at us at a absolute breakneck speed. The blizzard of Trump actions is continuing into the second week. It's really hard to keep up. Now, that's partly by design, right? Our enemies, our opponents, the lefties, the NPCs on the left, they're having a hard time keeping up and keeping track of everything to be outraged by. And, you know, candidly, so are we, and so are probably all of you out in that audience. I think it's safe to say this is basically the first time the American people have ever seen the executive branch and the leaders of this country run the government almost like a tech startup. You know, they move fast and break things on purpose because what has been built and constructed at the federal level especially are things worth breaking. Now, if you check the headlines, it seems like the regime is most upset right now about all the freezes in hiring, freezes on federal grants, freezes on aid and loans and foreign grants. Now, all of those things are good. There's freezes on visas. There's freezes on reentry. There's the border is completely frozen. And it is difficult to keep pace and to keep up. So what is going on right now? What is happening? And by the way, there's going to be the first Caroline Leavitt-led press briefing today at the White House, which is another very exciting thing. So we're going to take that live. We're actually going to be talking to Brian Glenn in the next segment. He's going to be live from Pebble Beach, as they call it, inside the White House compound. So what is going on? Let's try and keep track here. We've got CNN headline, all federal grants and loan disbursement paused by White House. Now, this one seems to have them very much in a tizzy. So reading from CNN, which is regime-controlled media, it says the White House Budget Office has ordered a pause on all federal grants and loans, according to an internal memorandum sent Monday, potentially impacting trillions, yes, trillions with a T, in government spending and halting public programs that affect millions of Americans. Federal agencies must temporarily pause all activities related to obligation or disbursement of all federal financial assistance. So we don't even have Russ Vought in yet at OMB, and the acting OMB director is already putting out this memoranda. So the memo specifies that the pause will not affect Social Security or Medicare benefits and does not include assistance provided directly to individuals. Nevertheless, this is Trump bad. Trump hates people. Trump's going to cause people to not be able to eat. That's false. It's a temporary review, and it will provide the administration time to review agency programs and determine the best uses of the funding for those programs consistent with the law and the president's priorities. So the other thing that we have to look into is that this memorandum also says that it is in line with the executive orders last week. What were the executive orders about last week? This will be implicating DEI, woke gender ideology, and the Green New Deal, and foreign aid and non-governmental organizations. Now let's pause there. Non-governmental organizations. This would be like Catholic Charities that's trying to help illegals game our immigration system, and a lot of other NGOs that are doing that. By the way, these NGOs, folks, they go by the name of refugee resettlement, that this is such a good thing. They often quote scripture to completely game our immigration system and make money while doing it. That's right. So what they do is they charge maybe 20, 30%, 40% profit to the government to resettle refugees from places like Afghanistan and the Middle East, which Joe Biden put a prioritization on, to bring them here into your community, into your homes and your parks, and these NGOs get paid to do it. That's right. So we're putting a pause on all of these things so that they can be reviewed, and the president's priorities can be ensured that they're taking place. Now, the other big news story this morning, that we've got the B-roll right there, if you're watching on the stream of the Catholic Charities talking about how you don't have to basically comply with ICE, and you don't have to talk, and you get a lawyer, and the one will be paid for you by the taxpayers when you try and break into our country. Absolutely ridiculous. We need to fund all of these NGOs. And now the other big news story is that Kristi Noem was photographed in New York City doing raids on gang members. They got a kingpin of Tren de Aragua up in New York City. She's fully kitted out. Now, some people don't like that. Some people think it's, like Princess Warrior stuff. I get that. I get the pushback. The whole girl boss movement is a little cringe. But here's my pushback to the pushback. It's great to see institutional prioritization at the top level of our government, including Kristi Noem, getting into the field, showing that we mean business. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Go into the field, show the world that we mean business and we're not playing around anymore. Meanwhile, we've got border crossings plummeting. There are reporters that have been at the border for over a decade, that have been covering the story at our border for over a decade. They've never seen numbers this low. They keep dropping. In fact, across all of our sectors yesterday, not one had over 200 border crossers attempt to get over the border. We have illegals coming back from trying to cross saying, don't come. You're not going to get through. Everybody's getting caught. You've got raids going on in Colorado, getting Tren de Aragua people. You've got raids with Tom Homan in Chicago and Dr. Phil. You've got raids going on in New York City. And you've got people like Selena Gomez sobbing about this and then deleting it. I'm going to get that clip if we can. Ryan, what clip is that? Sobbing about how they're attacking my people. Now, let's make a couple things straight here. Let's get a couple things straight. They're not going after schools and playgrounds and all this stuff like this, all this propaganda. Now, we reserve the right to do that if that's where the bad guys are. But right now, that's not what is happening. We're going for the worst first. We're getting murderers, rapists, pedophiles off the streets. These are public safety issues. These are public safety threats that we're getting off of the streets. And we're getting them out of our country. And people like Selena Gomez, go ahead and play Cut 91. I think Charlie's post on this did like 11 million views so far. Play Cut 91.
I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting attacked. Children. I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do. I'll try everything, I promise.
So, we're not going to be cowed by tears anymore. Hollywood celebrities, AOC, crying on the border as we make our cities safer, as we make our communities safer, as we remove actual murderers and rapists from the communities of this country. We are not going to be cowed by crying celebrities anymore. Where were your tears for Laken Riley? Where were they for Jocelyn Nungari? Where were they for Rachel Morin? Where were they for the 100,000 Americans that die every year from fentanyl poisoning? I don't think so. We're going to secure our border. We're going to deport illegals. And mission is going forward.